Revelation 878. From the 22nd of April 1939. Tests according to state of maturity. Deep faith in earthly hardship. It is true that man enters into a relationship of dependence on God as long as he walks on earth, in that his course of life is determined by events of all kinds, which he cannot oppose. Nevertheless, the free will of acting and thinking is given to him. By virtue of his free will, he can also shape the fate of his life in so far that he can be spared trials if he goes the right way before God out of his own will, which leads back to him, and then the trials are not so necessary, and man himself is then master of his life and has less resistance to fear. Now, however, the one thing that remains to be considered, is that only in the rarest cases, people walk out the divine commandments on earth faithfully. Everybody has to fight against desires of any kind, and therefore there are few who make an effort to lead righteous life, which is why the earth, and with it man, cannot be left without examination. Only the conscious striving for God, the desire for union with Him, presupposes that spiritual maturity which no longer needs strokes of fate of a severe kind. And if these are allowed for educational reasons for the rest of mankind, then the Father in heaven protects his own from evil, misery and oppression, and so even in the midst of the most terrible events, an earthly child can remain untouched by it, if it has only reached this spiritual state of maturity and consciously participates in the redemption of mankind through works of love. But again and again man needs the strongest faith. Where he fears and doubts and does not stand in deepest faith, again also such events, which still have to come over mankind, will cast gloomy shadows over the doubting human child. For faith alone preserves it from every danger. And if the whole earth would be in danger to burst and perish, deep faith is the supporting point, which gives the true child of God support and does not let it come into trouble and danger. And in the hour of trouble, therefore, remember the words of the Lord, I am with you always. If the Lord Himself assures you of His help, then you should not despair in hours of trouble, but always be faithful and fully trusting of the help from above, and then every trouble will pass you by like a shadow. And know that you still have to struggle for your soul's state of maturity as long as the hardships and worries tangibly press you. The more intimately you devote yourselves to the Lord and Saviour and long for union with Him, the more distant earthly suffering will remain for you, for the soul no longer needs it for its salvation. Amen.